Let's see it. I don't know if it's going live yet. Sometimes there's a lag. It says it's preparing, but I think we're live now. So hello, hello, hello. I am so excited to share with you all on the interwebs my beautiful brother, Christian's son. He is truly such a gem. Christian and I have been in each other's space. We live also in the same town. But we had never connected until I got really clear guidance just the other day that I needed to reach out to him. And I just knew that I felt this inner calling that said that there was some wisdom to learn from Christian. And so I'm so glad I did reach out to him because yeah, he definitely has a lot to share. So thank you so much for joining me today, Christian. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, thank you, Rozlyn. It's such a beauty to be here with you as well. Yeah, a little bit about me. I've been in San Diego for quite a while, since 1969, and I started my path in the healing arts and martial arts when I was in my 20s, and that was a little over 40 years ago. And doing so, I realized until years later that I was doing Qigong and martial arts, which I did not know. I was doing Kung Fu at the time. And I had an old school teacher. He'd say, do this, do that. And I'm thinking, what am I doing? And he wouldn't explain. And just do this, do that. And I would stand there for hours holding this position, 30 minutes to an hour. And I'm like, I just want to fight. I just want to kick butt. What are we doing here? And it wasn't until years and years later it dawned on me what he was doing for me. It was helping me strengthen my chi body, the ligaments, tendons, and muscles, and compressing in the body, opening up the channels of the flows of the meridians to be able to have to create what they call empty force. 3 years, 6 nights a week, 3 hours a night, doing the splits, 300 push-ups, 300 sit-ups, 8-pack, everything, full on combat dude. And I can last and last and last in the fights. And there was no protection. It was just full on Kung Fu. I was just touching on empty force after 3 years, where you can just barely touch somebody, they would fly across the room. That was the kind of martial arts I was into. Yeah. But it took 3 years to build that. And part of it is through Qigong. Now, there's 3 types of Qigong. There's the one for healing others, medical Qigong. That you build your own chi body and you can transmit this chi, but it takes years to build that. Then there's the one that you do personally. You can have it for personal growth, spiritual growth, and for healing, to keep your health, immune system strong. And then there's the fighting arts Qigong. So come up to more now. So the last 40 years or so, I've been learning different styles from different masters across the world. I got a website up that I threw a few people up that I've studied with, a couple of masters here and there, and a little bit about me, a little bit more. And what I found is Qigong styles, because there's literally thousands of styles. And it's just personal preference of what that flow is for you. And these styles are derived from nature, from the elements. And the it wasn't even called Qigong back then. It was just something that just came about in the 60s. It was a different name, Dao Yin. And what the masters brought in, there's direct lineages of different Qigong styles. And then over the years, these masters brought in their own type of making of different Qigong. So there's lineages that are hundreds, if not thousands of years old. And then there's ones that are pretty regular, new at this point. And I found I understand why, because I was been a purist. I was just like, I'm going to learn this style and just teach it exactly. And over the years, the chi started talking to me. The chi is the nature within. It's what permeates all of life. It's what makes everything grow. Everything move. It's everything. In every living animate object, there's this thing called chi, this life force, prana, mana, ki, in different cultures.
Yeah.
And so I found over the years I've been doing Qigong that I do all 3. I do the medical, I do the personal. It's very spiritual for me as well, and grounding and healing. There's a thing called the Wei Qi. The Wei Qi is a protective field. And as you do Qigong, you build up your Qi body and you create this energy vortex around you. And it's usually between 1 to 2 inches of layer around your skin, your energetic body. And what that does, it protects you from illnesses, sicknesses, negativity. And what it also does, it's like a magnet drawn in positive stuff, experiences. So it reflects anything less than love, and it's amplified, and it brings in positive stuff. So that's the reason why I love doing Qigong, and I love teaching it for 2 reasons. One, I didn't get that when I was learning martial arts. And there's different Qigong, especially a lot of Asian Qigong masters that I've studied with. They don't really explain. They don't say, if you do this, this is this. One way I can see, you want to find out for yourself and not be colored at the end of the movie of their projection of their subjective reality on you. However, it's nice to have a little light at the end of the road to say, you're going in this direction. If you sense that, you're on the right track instead of being all over the place. People give up. People quick.
Rhythm with it.
Exactly. And so I like to teach because I like to give what I didn't get. And I teach and I bridge somewhat to some degree at some layers, but also given the mystery so you can find it yourself, but given a direction.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. If anybody that's tuning in right now, if you've ever done Qigong, write Qigong in the comments below, because I would love to know. I personally have never experienced Qigong before. So it definitely interests me. And I had no idea that there was even different ways that you can work with the Qigong, and that there was different ways or types. I had no idea. So thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. So you mentioned you just kind of naturally found Qigong through your existing martial arts practice. Is that right?
Yes and no. Yes, that, and also I'm not into doing martial arts anymore, and it's like Qigong is like right next to it. It's in harmony with martial arts. So it's still movement. I don't do Yang style Qigong, because there's Yang style where you're doing coming down on the ground, you're doing all these different splits and stretches, and there's different styles like that. I do more gentle, and there's some that are cathartic, but it's more on an emotional state, especially the 6 healing sounds. But the ones
that we're going to be doing in the group.
That's the one.
Okay, so in the group on what are we, Tuesday night in my private mentorship group, Kristen's going to be coming in as a guest facilitator, taking us through this one. So you said it's the 6 suns, or the 6, what is it again?
It's called the 6 healing sounds plus the inner smile. And I learned this directly from Mantak Chia years ago. And Mantak Chia is a Taoist Qigong master in Chiang Mai and Thailand. And I haven't taught this in over 5 years. And I started bringing it back in the last couple of weeks because of what's been going on the planet. Yeah. And some level, it affected me as well. And my intuition said, hey, this is now the time to bring this out of the treasure chest.
That's so interesting, because you mentioned on the phone the other day that it is definitely working in the subconscious, and that's so much around what I do in my group and in the work that I do is working in the subconscious. And it's so interesting that you, like, at this exact time, you were just called to bring this back in, and when you and I were talking, that was the session that you felt would be best suited for our group.
Yeah, we already knew on some level. I mean, you contacted me in a messenger. Hey, I like what you're doing. Let's talk and put something together. I'm like, great, let's do it. And then here we are.
And we've been in each other's field for at least a year.
At
least a year. So I love that. How would you say that Qigong has personally impacted your life?
Oh, so many ways. It's a spiritual path for me. I mean, there's many ways of finding spirituality. It's the next best thing to be in nature for me. It's because the nature within, it reflects that within me. And as I move, like if you do dance, you feel great afterwards. You do a workout, you do yoga, you sweat, you feel great. So on that level, on an emotional level, a mental level, and a physical level, I feel great. But on an energetic level, I feel expanded. I feel vibrating. I feel alive. I feel the cells just activated. And there's different Qigongs that I teach. And the one I'm going to teach on Tuesday, the 6 healing sounds, that's specific for what we're talking about. It's working in the unconscious aspects known or unknown. The body never forgets what the mind's forgotten.
Right.
And so as we do this, it's going to release this negative emotional charge that's stored in the tissues, especially in the organs, that loops in the brain and makes the crazy mind, you know. And you'll find as we do this, you'll start to soften, and things will lift, and you might yawn, burp, get shook, get cold, hot, sweat, get really tired or dizzy or spacey, or see the movie screen of thoughts come up. It's not to grasp them, just to acknowledge them. That's part of the purge. That's what's happening. It's leaving energetically. Yeah. And then we imbue it with high frequency color with intention, because wherever your mind goes, your attention, wherever your attention is, you goes, your blood flows through the chi, and you manifest. So there's a whole healing system of this. So we use a certain frequency tone to vibrate in, and a certain physical movement to put stress or pressure on that organ to help release it. And then we tonify it with a color and with intention. And there's more to it, but we'll get to that point.
That's so awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait. And that's interesting too, because I mean, you intuitively, I feel, kind of prescribed this 6 sounds for our group, not knowing very little bit about our group and my work. Right. And intuitively you found that. But it's interesting because so much of what we do in my group is working in the body and constantly coming back into the body and tuning into what's present in the body. And we just did an exercise last week that was, you know, we went around in the group and we all shared how we thought we felt about our body from the mind. And then I actually asked the group to all tune into their body in a different way. And we did a little exercise to get them into their body and to listen to what was currently present in the body. And what they heard was actually completely different than what they thought initially the mind was. And that's so much of the work that we're doing through breath work, through different somatic practices. So it's so interesting that, you know, or feels so aligned that this is the Christian prescription of the Qigong that we'll be doing. So who would you say that Qigong is for?
It's for everybody.
Is there anybody that you wouldn't recommend do this?
It depends on what style of Qigong, but overall, if it's a tonifying, it'd be very medicinal for everybody, even someone that's pregnant. It's fine. But there's certain movements that I wouldn't prescribe for that person. But overall, Qigong is for everybody because it's the flow of nature. It's the flow of life moving through you as life. It's a dance. It's an internal dance. It's an alchemy of life.
Yeah.
And when you do Qigong, you start to clear energetic patterns that have been holding, you don't see it. And it starts to unstuck and you have some space, and then you can work with that, but you can't see what you don't know. So this makes the unknown known.
Yeah. And that's so powerful. And a lot of people that have been in my space for a while know that my background is in shamanism. It's not obviously the only modality that I work with or practice. There's many, many different teachings and philosophies that I follow and work with. But interestingly is that, you know, the path of the shaman, from my understanding, is, you know, working in the shadow and working in the subconscious. And this is the path to freedom and to enlightenment. And by, you know, shedding these layers that are really weighing us down on a subconscious level, that are keeping us in these looping patterns, that are keeping us imprisoned and entrained and entrapped in the Maya, in the delusion, you know. So this is so much of what I teach is releasing these pent up old energetic stuff, whether it's from your physical life or whether it's from, you know, from the bloodline. So that's really beautiful.
Yeah, I got goosebumps right now. My whole back is just goosebumps.
Yeah,
so exciting. I'm so excited to do this with you and your people, and we're gonna have an amazing time. It's just gonna be so healing for everybody.
Yeah.
So I mean, my whole body's just buzzing right now. So it's like, woohoo.
I'm so excited. I mean, the more that you and I have dropped in, even through this conversation, I just can see like, oh, this is exactly why we were meant to tune in with each other. And it's like, I will say too, like, you know, my membership community that I facilitate for, it's called Soul Family, and I facilitate a majority, 99% of the sessions that we do. And I'm very meticulous and picky about who I allow into the space.
Thank you.
Because it's a container, you know, it's a container that we have created, this safe familial container. And it's like inviting a guest into your home that's saying, you know, is this person in integrity, and is this person in alignment? And it just goes to show that, you know, even when I follow my own intuition and internal guidance, that it had led me to connecting with you and feeling deeper into your alignment and your energy. It just feels so perfect for exactly what we're doing. So it's truly an honor to have us. So,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Soul time. That's what the color frequency is about, the soul time.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful.
This color is part of our frequency. It's part of our food.
Yeah.
It enlivens us. So we're going to activate and move dense issues out of the tissues and vibrate and amplify the 50, 70 trillion cells and have more of that power come into the cell and electrifying and magnifying. And you're guys are going to just feel so good afterwards. And
yeah, that was going to be my next question, is just what do you, from your perspective, I'm sure the way that you teach it, the result manifests differently in each person after they've received a Qigong session from you. But if we could generalize it, how would someone typically feel after they've done a session of this sort?
Well, the feedback I've been getting back with my other students is a few things. One, just elated. Just some are very tired. Some are very high and spacey. They can't drive, so I have to help them ground. So this is great that you'll be in your own home to do this.
Yeah.
Just crawl right into bed.
Yeah.
And of course, drink that extra water, because it's going to help move the emotions out. And because a lot of it's energetic debris, but it's going to be physical debris as well.
Right.
And you're going to have different dreams. You're going to sleep differently. You're going to walk differently the next day. You're going to feel differently. You're going to feel it then as we do it, but the next day and the next days after will be the proof in the pudding for you guys.
So it's like an energetic attunement.
It is an energetic attunement for sure.
Yeah.
It's upping the frequency that you should be or supposed to be at. It's your frequency. But when stuff's in the way, there's muck, the windshields are dirty, you just clean them and then you can see.
Right.
It's just, you're just amping the energy back up to who you are.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Shamanic colonic.
Yay, I love that. Shamanic colonic. Oh my God, that is so funny. A Qigong colonic. Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm super excited. Thank you so much for sharing and being open to connecting with me and open to offering this medicine to the group. I'm so excited. Even now, I'm more excited. And I'm a newbie. I've never done it. So
perfect.
I feel like
easy.
Yeah.
Very easy movements. I explain it very well in detail. Everybody will get it. Everybody will have an experience.
Good.
And so it's 5:30 Tuesday p.m. Pacific time. Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody that's watching this, if you want more information in the membership community, please in the comments below, just put interested and I'll connect with you directly. We meet twice a week. We meet every Thursday for what we call a family meeting. And we're working with different exercises, different tools, supporting one another in the group. And then we meet every Sunday, which is about to happen here in about 30 minutes for a shamanic breathwork session. This is a really powerful way to move through a lot of the things that Christian and I have been talking about today. So we are a very tight-knit family. We are very close and very supportive. So if that feels like it's interesting and nurturing to you and in alignment to you, please, comment interested below. Also, once a month, I do bring in guest facilitators like Christian to support us even deeper in a way in the group to bring their medicine in and to really elevate the frequency of the group as well. So be in contact, let me know if this sounds interesting to you, and I'll definitely send you the information. So Christian, I am so excited. I am so humbled to have you joining us. And I am even more excited now talking to you today and getting to feel deeper into your energy. And I'm really excited. So
Oh,
thank
yeah,
you so
sweet.
much.
You're so welcome. So welcome. Thank you.
All right, my dear. Well, I will see you on Tuesday evening, and hopefully everybody in Facebook land, we get to see you on Tuesday evening as well. It's going to be a very powerful session. I know that for sure. Sending you so much love. Thank you, Christian, and I will see you soon. Adios. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.